Hello everybody, I'm in Manchester. Am I going to do a get ready with me? Is that what's about to happen? Do the closed curtains add a touch of mystery, a touch of intrigue? Hello everybody, my name's Ray, and as for the name of the channel, I love to read. I am back in the city in which I went to university, Manchester. There are so many great bookshops here, but I am here to see the wonderful Sabrina Carpenter. So Sabrina is on later, and I'm going to be obviously changing into something a little bit more sparkly for the occasion, but I thought I would talk you through what books I've bought already, because I only arrived yesterday and within not very long I'd already found myself in both Waterstones and this morning in House of Books and Friends. Waterstones, again, every time I go to a new city, obviously there has to be a Waterstones visit, and Waterstones Deansgate is one of the biggest ones. It's not quite as big as Waterstones Piccadilly. I think it's probably a little bit smaller than Waterstones Nottingham, although I don't know, it's difficult. There's a lot of books there anyway, and I always have a really good time looking through them. House of Books and Friends is a not-for-profit organisation that has it's like a social space that's also a bookshop. There's cake and things available, they run events. It's about kind of targeting loneliness, encouraging reading. Some of you might see that they do bookish afternoon teas there. I think they're pretty booked up for those, though they've turned out to be very, very popular. So shall I show you my book haul? Let's go get the bags. So yesterday was actually the release date of quite a lot of books, and amongst those we have, don't look in the background, it'll spoil it for you. We have Stag Dance by Torrey Peters. Now, Torrey Peters' debut Detransition Baby. I haven't read it. I started reading it and there was a really strong opening, and then I just didn't get around to it. So I am planning to read that hopefully within the next couple of months. But this is her second one, Stag Dance, and I had to move quite a lot of regular copies to get to the zingy pink one. Not sure how I feel about the cover. Anyway, this is a book. It says, visions of trans life, past, present and future collide in this irresistible follow-up to the hit novel Detransition Baby. Deep in the forest, a group of restless lumberjacks working an illegal logging outfit plan a winter dance that some will volunteer to attend as women. The broadest, strongest axeman finds himself caught in a rivalry with a pretty Jack that culminates in jealousy, betrayal, and an astonishing spectacle of transition. Meanwhile, in other times and places, the gender apocalypse is brought about by an unstable ex-girlfriend, an illicit boarding school romance surfaces intrigue and cruelty, and a Las Vegas party weekend turns dark when a young cross-dresser must choose between a thrilling mystery man or a veteran trans woman offering unglamorous sisterhood. In this quartet of tales, Torrey Peters' keen eye for the rough edges of desire reveals fresh possibilities. Acidly funny, boldly inventive and breathtaking in scope, Stag Dance provokes and unsettles, inspires and delights. So I wonder if this was actually 4 stories that she's blended together to form a book, or if it was always meant to be a quartet. And I'll be interested to know, and I think often it's quite obvious when you're reading a book whether or not the material is like initially kind of meant to be within the same kind of work. So I'm excited to read this. Obviously we've got the trans rights readathon coming up later in this month, and obviously Torrey Peters writes a lot of trans representation. So yes, absolutely check out her work. And we've got Softcore. This is about a 27-year-old dancer at a strip club who goes in search of her ex-boyfriend, and I believe there's a bit of a treasure trail. This one is one that came to my attention. I think I follow the publisher, I think it's Fourth Estate, and they've been promoting this on their Instagram, and obviously it caught my eye. So that's another hardback release that's just come out this week. The other two I bought The Theatre of Glass and Shadows. This was a cover purchase. I like anything with shiny windows and palaces from the outside, and it basically sold it to me with its combination of, it said basically fans of Susanna Clarke and Erin Morgenstern. So that's what sold this one to me. It was like I say, a cover buy. It's called The Theatre of Glass and Shadows by Anne Corlett, and it's not an author I know much about. It looks like we've got kind of alternate London theatre district. I think she's trying to track down her origin story. So yeah, that's that one. Finally, we have The Lonely City by Olivia Laing. And this one appealed to me because A, cover, and B, so it's a memoir. They basically moved to New York City, and it's about their experiences with loneliness, which is something that I'm very interested in reading about, because often you get some of the best, most vulnerable writings when people are opening up about their inner feelings on that sort of thing. So Adventures in the Art of Being Alone. Yeah, that was my 4th purchase from Waterstones yesterday. Today I went to House of Books and Friends and I hauled some more books. I always like to support local bookshops when I'm in a new place, or indeed when I'm in my hometown. So yeah, let's see what I got. Okay, this is... I already have Fourth Wing, but I decided... I just got this uncontrollable urge. I wanted to read something like this while I'm away in Manchester. So I'm not even going to put that back in the bag. This is coming with me. It's going, there we go. It's going on the bed. I'm going to start that later. I just really, really wanted to give it a try. I've heard it's popular. My friend who I'm staying here with gave it 4 stars. She really enjoyed it. She said it wasn't very original, but it was still a great fun time. So I'm going to give that a go. What else do I have here? Okay, so this one, the cover caught my eye. I've not heard of it before. It's called The Lodgers by Holly Pester. And this one caught my eye because it looks like it's going to be a psychological horror. And if there's something I love a bit of, it's psychological horror. So it looks like she basically goes home and she's living in or adjacent to her mother's home, but her mother isn't anywhere to be found and she's not sure when she's going to come back. So there's kind of a lot about kind of whose space it is, and it sounds like it's going to be kind of an eerie explanation of that space and that area. I love psychological horror. Anything that kind of bends reality into something a little bit eerie, a little bit uncanny. Sounds like it's going to be my sort of thing. And that cover is very aesthetically appealing. I think that's a bit of a thing this is probably going to be one of those styles of cover that is very, very popular at the moment, but in 30 years time is going to look very much kind of 2010s. It's not the 2010s anymore. It's the 2020s. Where is my life going? Time, it keeps flying. But yeah, this is very modern. It's got a lamp on it. Any books? I like lighting. I like minimalist furnishings. I like this sort of thing. It appeals to me. It's on the pile. This one is Bookish by Lucy Mangan, and it's about how reading shapes our lives. Books about books. I love them. One day I may even write one day, if anyone actually wants to read about my thoughts about about books and their connection to our everyday reality. Any books by bibliophiles who want to share their reading experiences, I am down for. I'm assuming it's an essay collection. Yeah, love letter to those who come alive when they pull a new treasure off the shelf, stay up late reading, just one more page, and pack their suitcases with clothes wedged between books instead of the other way around. Yeah. Me, basically. So yeah, let's see what Lucy Mangan has to say about it. It's not an author I've heard of. I think I saw this book on Instagram kind of floating past me. Someone was recommending it, so yeah. And they've put a little cat on the front, so you know, that's how they get you with the books and cats. Again, my love of books about books is preceded only by my love of books about art. So this one is called What Art Can Tell Us About Love, and this is by Nick Trend, a person I've never heard of. The book is a beautiful pink colour, which is I radiate towards this kind of pink on the shelves. Anyway, it's a story about 70 masterpieces and the stories of the art and the love affairs associated with them. So I think there's Georgia O'Keeffe and her partner. Yep, lots of pictures, some very romanticised pictures in there. I love reading books about art, especially ones that have the pictures in there, because it's very frustrating when you're reading a book about art and you're having to Google what the pictures look like. And they're there trying to describe it to you. They're like, it's kind of just one line at the top and then some going down. Does not have the same impact as actually being able to see the images. So I'm currently reading a book about art at the moment, which is See What You're Missing by Will Gompertz. This will go on my art pile. I tend to read one at a time. The last one I read was a Georgia O'Keeffe monograph. I do love reading, particularly if it's like multiple artists. The Story of Art by Gombrich, The Story of Art Without Men by Katie Hessel. Some fantastic books out there, and they really do bring the world to life. So that's my 2 hauls so far. You may take bets on how many more books I will have bought by the end of the trip. I'm guessing it may be more than 1 or 2, because after Sabrina I'm staying with another friend and she very much enjoys books as well. I am going to now start getting ready to go and see Sabrina. I do have a twinkly dress. At the moment I'm feeling quite sweaty and gross. So yeah, let's try and make me look a little bit more shiny and presentable. Can I be bothered to do anything with my eyebrows? I'm not sure. Oh guys, I'm the book lady. I don't do glamorous. I don't do glamorous. Right, next time, in a few moments, I will have transformed. Okay, so we have the sparkly dress, which looks great as long as you don't look at me from the side. We have the lip plumping stuff, which I think induces some kind of mild allergic reaction to get those lips extra plump. There's my left eye, which has some kind of eye makeup in. So if I look like a panda, it's because of that. And yeah, I think I'm Sabrina ready. Well, yesterday was great fun, but I am exhausted today. When I was younger, I swear that like I could go out and about the next day after a night out and be absolutely fine. I feel rough. So yeah, we had a lovely night dancing to Sabrina. And it was incredible and totally worth it. We did do a little bit of book shopping today, but it was all very much on a kind of slower level. Oh man, I've done a lot of walking around as well, so I'm just very, very tired. I will be in Manchester for another few days to visit another friend, so there'll probably be more bookshops involved, but I thought I'd just talk you through a little bit about what I've been reading since I've been here. So on the train on the way to Manchester from home, I have been reading some of Solenoid, which is the Romanian author Mircea Cartarescu's experimental body horror style philosophical novel inspired by his job as a teacher, I believe. It's about 600 pages long, which is a lot bigger than anything else on the list. And this book so far, there's a lot of picking stuff out of its belly button. I'm not sure how to feel. The books it's giving me vibes of are Duck's Newburyport, which was that stream of consciousness chunkster that I read. I think I did my video log. I did two video logs last year with, and that was one that I buddy read it with about I think there were about 6 of us to start off with, and I think about 2 of us finished it. So I'm sorry, that's not a very high compliment, is it? I'm also getting slight House of Levy vibes. I don't know why I'm getting House of Levy vibes. So I've kind of been referring to it in the group chat as House of Ducks. So I apologise if I'm doing a disservice to Cartarescu. I am really hoping this picks up. In the train though, I don't know if this is meant to be funny, but I did find it quite funny. So basically the author is talking about he does a really flowery couple of pages, several paragraphs, kind of talking about the way that paths kind of diverge in our lives and how one person might go one way and then another version of themselves in a quantum universe might go another. And, we've got kind of writing like this. So with every move we make in our lives, we make a choice or we are blown by a breath of wind down one aisle or another. The line of our life only solidifies behind us. It becomes coherent as it fossilizes into the simplicity of destiny, while the lives that could have been, that could have diverged moment by moment from the life that triumphed are dotted ghostly lines, creodes, quantum differences, translucid and fascinating, like stems vegetating in the greenhouse. If I blink, my life forks. I could not have... Anyway, he carries on like this for a good kind of page and a half. And then goes on to describe how a poem that he wrote wasn't well received in a seminar. So we have, I don't know what I would have been like now, writing here in this cobweb-filled room in my boat-shaped home, in this semi-darkness with only a yellow glow around my old windows, if my poem had been better received on October the 24th, 1977. I find that really funny. And I don't know if it's supposed to be funny or not. I just love it when people are dramatic about stuff in that way. It makes me smile. And the thing is, I'd have been exactly the same. I think I once wrote a poem about how someone hadn't liked one of my other poems. I mean, this is the sort of cringy stuff that us artists, I say artists, this is the sort of cringy stuff that us poets do. So yeah, I think this is very much an experimental autobiographical novel, and I'm hoping there'll be a bit more meat to it, because I'm also really, really hoping that the belly button thing wasn't a kind of metaphor for navel gazing, because not subtle. Anyway, the other book I actually finished on the first night that I was here is Hunchback by Sao Ichikawa. Now, this book again is on the International Booker long list, and I've finished it. It's only 90 something pages. And if you're expecting a story or a book with plot, or, this was missold to me a little bit on the blurb, I think. But as a piece of writing, this is a provocation. I think there is a book that describes itself as a provocation rather than a novel, but that's how I would describe this one. There are so many kind of subversive thoughts within this very, very small package. We have kind of vivid descriptions of physical disability, and that doesn't bother me at all in terms of, you know, the descriptions, because, you know, I actually find it, you know, interesting to know how people would, you know, experience life with a tracheostomy, experience life with difficulties with posture, breathing, that kind of thing, mobility, and how they see themselves as either sexual or non-sexual beings. All of that's very, very interesting, and the book certainly provides a lot of commentary on that sort of thing. And I'm going to do hopefully a further review video if I can get my thoughts in order, because I have so many thoughts about this little text. There's just little lines that just little ways of looking at the world. And so although I wouldn't say this is a story, I do think it's a very, very important piece of writing, and I would encourage everybody to pick it up if you're interested in the lives of others. The author, I believe, says it's about 30% autobiographical. I certainly hope that she doesn't experience herself entirely in the way that the author, her main character does in this, because anybody can have a, you know, a rich sex life. How would I describe it? So yeah, you know, everybody can have an intimate life, and obviously there's a lot of commentary on desire and that sort of thing, but, you know, I just hope that you know, that the author isn't feeling similarly unfulfilled in the way that her protagonist is, because that would be a shame. Yeah, the cover, again, in the same way, the cover's kind of provocative in the same way that the writing is. So that was that one. I then started Fourth Wing, which is over on the bed. I've only read a few pages. I think I've got the vibe already. Yeah, I'm hoping, my friend read it, my friend who I'm here with, she read it, she enjoyed it, she said it was great fun. So, you know, I'm not expecting, you know, Booker nominee writing. I'm expecting a fun story with some romance and some action. So yeah, I just really felt in the mood for it, so I got myself the paperback. I just really felt like I needed to do that. I've brought some other books with me. I've got a book about what looks like a haunted hotel type book. I've got this huge little stack here of books I bought the other day. And oh, I did actually do some hauling. Let me go show you what I bought. Let me show you what I bought. Also, I've got my Sabrina hoodie. Got myself some merch. Tried to walk past the merch. Did actually walk past the merch. Soon came back for the merch. But this is so comfy. I love it when you get like a new hoodie and it's all soft. So today we went to Queer Lit, which is, I think, probably, and I may be wrong about this, I thought it was the world's, not the world's, the UK's biggest queer bookshop. It's very much a kind of social space as well now. It's got like a cafe, it's a hangout spot, and it used to just be a teeny tiny little bookshop in the Northern Quarter. They did events and things. I met TJ Clune through one of their events. And yeah, it's a great space, and they have such a brilliant selection of books. So I did go shopping today a little bit, and I got a bit carried away. And as I always do whenever I'm near a bookshop full of, so I'll stop crunching. This is not an ASMR video. So I don't think I already have this, unless it does sometimes happen. Anyway, I bought this one on the blurb. So Our Infinite Fates by Laura Stephen. And we've got some sprayed edges. And this is basically, so Evelyn has lived countless lives, and in every single one she's been killed before her 18th birthday. But in her present life, her little sister needs her in order to stay alive. To save her sister and make it past her 18th birthday, she'll have to find the centuries-old enemy who hunts her through each life and figure out why she's being hunted so she can break the curse once and for all. So we've got, I've read lots of kind of speculative novels where people are living more than one life. We've got the Infinite Lives of Harry August. The Many Lives of Harry August is by Claire North. And the character Harry August lives many lives. That's the premise. I don't remember that much more about it, to be honest. But, you know, it's something that's been done before, the kind of Groundhog Life rather than Groundhog Day. So yeah, always fascinating premise. So I'm going to have to find out exactly where that one goes. What else have I got in my bag of mystery? I got these 7 Devils and 7 Mercies. I can't remember which one comes first, but these are sci-fi books written by Elizabeth May and L.R. Lamb. I'm going to be reading some of Lamb's work later in the year, and these just appealed to me. I love queer sci-fi. I'm hoping it might be a bit Becky Chambers. Excited about those. Now, I believe this is another Hiromi Kawakami book. This one's called Record of a Night Too Brief, and I believe it's 3 different stories. And I think it was in the sapphic section, so I wasn't aware that Kawakami had written any sapphic novels, but I loved her writing. I loved her kind of pared back writing, and yeah, couldn't resist. And also that is a funky cover. We've got some luminous mushrooms there. And the other 2 that I got, I don't think of myself as a horror fan, and yet it keeps happening. I keep buying horror books. I particularly don't like body horror. It keeps happening. I keep ending up with books. So this is They Bloom at Night. And I don't know if you can see the kind of shiny eye situation that we've got going on there. The author wrote She Is a Haunting before, which has, you may remember that cover because I've definitely seen it on social media. But yeah, it's basically algae monsters, I believe, town hit by a hurricane and mutated wildlife and all of that. So that's by Trang Than Tran. And yeah, some more horror. Nice. And the final one I got was The Afterlife of Mal Caldera. This is about somebody who is a ghost and they're basically hanging out in the afterlife, but they've got unfinished business. So I think they're warned basically not to participate in life anymore, and you know, now that they're dead, but they've never been particularly good at following the rules. So yeah, that was one I'd never heard of, Nadie Reed Perez. I will have to give it a go. I need to slow down on the old book buying now, because otherwise I'm going to get into so much trouble when I get home. But you know, it's time for some reading. I think I'm going to read a bit of Fourth Wing. I need something relatively easy, or I might try something different, because I always get more excited when I'm starting a new one. Guys, I am back in Nottinghamshire, back home, because unfortunately my friend who I was going to go and stay with, she's not very well, so she wasn't able to have me round. So I am back a few days early and I'm absolutely exhausted. So I've had such a fun time with my friends over the last few days. Janet and I had a great time at the concert and afterwards. And then I spent today with my lovely friend Michelle, who we did go to a couple of bookshops. Here she is modelling the books that I bought for her. So we have The Tainted Cup, which I've spoken to you all about before, and then There Were None, which was one of the best books I read last year and an absolute classic. So hopefully she will enjoy those. I got a few more, and I got this lovely tote bag from House of Books and Friends. If you're ever in Manchester, you really need to check out this wonderful, wonderful bookshop. There is cake, if that sells it. The only downside is that they're not open past about kind of 5 o'clock, because I could have stayed there enjoying their comfy sofas and browsing their titles. I could have been there all evening. Sorry, it's my Sabrina Carpenter merchandise. So I got this, this rather lovely tome, an A to Z of Chinese food, but my understanding is that this book is not only about food but also about culture. I think there's a bit of memoir stuff in there as well, and it says recipes not included, which is good because I don't do any cooking. I very much enjoy exploring other cuisines, but mainly ones that haven't been kind of assembled by myself. So really excited. It's got a very, very pretty cover. I've seen this one on Instagram and I've heard that it's so much more than a book about food. So that's that one. Sorry, my tripod is in my suitcase and I am too tired to get it out. The Love Fix, which is about modern romance, reclaiming intimacy in a disconnected world, by Rachel Thompson. I believe this is a non-fiction, and I don't know much about this, but it's got to be better than just reading terrible dating stories on social media. And finally, The House of Mirrors by Erin Kelly. I absolutely adore this cover. And the interesting, one of them has killed before, one will kill again kind of synopsis, that sold me as well. So I'm looking forward to reading that one anyway. So it's a real shame that I'm not in Manchester, but to be fair, it was probably a good idea to get me away from all of those bookshops because I was going a little bit excited in all of them. So it's good to be home. I'm going to be having my own little readathon over the next few days, and then hopefully I'm going to be participating in the trans rights readathon, which I believe starts on the 21st and ends on the 31st. So Google it if you want to kind of participate. I've been choosing some books for that, and I would encourage you all to get involved, broaden your reading horizons, and hopefully I will be able to let you know how I get on with that later in the month. So I will be making plenty more videos in the coming weeks, so if you do like listening to me ramble on about books, don't forget to like and subscribe for more, and I will catch you all soon. Bye for now.